the Pretoria High Court has heard that Longwe Twala, the son of legendary music producer Chicco Twala, is not a person of interest in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. This was revealed during the re-examination of lead investigator Brigadier Bongani Gininda, who was testifying about the photo of a bag of money that was found on the phones of Twala, Khumalo and the alleged gunman Mthobisi Mncube. 5 men are on trial for the 2014 murder of the soccer star. Newzroom Afrika's Linda Mnisi has been following that story for us, and he's in studio tonight. Linda, good evening to you. Let's go directly to what's being argued in court. Brigadier Gininda, this is the lead investigator, says Longwe Twala is not a person of interest. What's the defense arguing?
Well, you'll remember that, Khumalo is listed as the mastermind, the alleged mastermind in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. And basically, what the defense was asking was, if you're going to say that Khumalo is the mastermind based on some of the links that you've made, when you think about the link between Khumalo and the accused, one being that bag of money, you also found it in Longwe Twala. So what does that make Longwe Twala then, given that Khumalo is said to have had links with the accused, and you're saying Khumalo is the mastermind? Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
You went on to try and corroborate, to try and disprove the assertion that was put by Mr. Mngomezulu to one of the witnesses that on the following day, which is actually the assertion that Longwe sustained an injury at the time when the incident took place. Do you still remember that?
That is correct. I do recall, my lord.
Thank you. And I must just hasten to demystify everybody here that what Mr. Mngomezulu put to that witness was that in terms of his own investigation, Mr. Mngomezulu, what he put to the witness was that in terms of his own investigation, he came across information that Longwe also got injured when the incident.
And I remember that being part of the argument, because the story, the unofficial story, is that Longwe may have gotten into a fight with Senzo Meyiwa, and therefore Longwe could have possibly shot Senzo by mistake, or perhaps out of that particular disagreement. Where did that argument go?
Well, it's interesting because, this is the bite that actually explains that. But the context here is that Thulani Mngomezulu, who is now late, he was the defense lawyer of accused number 1, put a version to Colonel, the ballistics expert, and said, well, look, this is a version, we were not there, but we know that there's a witness who will come and tell this court that Senzo Meyiwa was shot by Longwe Twala. You can't account for the 3rd bullet because it is stuck on Longwe Twala's ankle. So you'd recall that the state says there were 2 shots that were fired. But according to them, there were 3, and the 3rd bullet was stuck on Longwe Twala's ankle. Now, they played video footage yesterday showing Longwe Twala walking in the crime scene the day after the shooting. And according to Gininda, that is Longwe Twala. He knows him because he interacted with him during investigations. And according to him, what he was seeing there is somebody that is able to walk fine and does not look like he's
limping.
Is limping.
Yeah.
But what is interesting about this version, Paul, is that today, you would have heard in that bite, Advocate Mnisi seems to have backtracked on that version, saying that what Thulani Mngomezulu was saying was based on his own investigations, and it was not necessarily a version. And Brigadier Gininda says, well, wait, from what I can see based on the transcript, he said this is the version of accused number 3. And Advocate Mnisi says, well, as defense lawyers, we would embark on our own investigations to assist, the accused persons, but also if it came from him, we would have said accused number 2 or accused number 1 will come and tell this court that. But it was not put like that, which means it's not a version. So in a way, really trying to spin, you know, what was already said before. But he's not the only person that spinned or appeared to have been spinning the version. We heard today about the oval-shaped beard of accused number 2. You remember it's a description that was given by Thabang Makeleni, who's late, who was a passerby, saying that he in fact saw men standing outside the Khumalo home and giving a description of someone that had an oval-shaped beard. Now, you'd recall that initially the version from Bongani Gininda was that he's never ever had an oval-shaped beard. In fact, it does not grow. He's always kept a goatee. Today, Sipho Ramusipili, who's representing Bongani Gininda, coming back and saying, well, it was taken out of context. What we mean is that he did not have an oval-shaped beard on the day. And he took that forward by arguing that we don't have pictures of Bongani Gininda on the day that Senzo Meyiwa was killed. While there are a number of pictures showing other accused persons, we don't specifically have the picture of Bongani Gininda on that day. So you cannot tell the court that Bongani Gininda had an oval-shaped beard on that particular day.
So the version this time around is that, as opposed to him never having had an oval-shaped beard, is that, well, on that particular day, or at least the days after, we don't know what this man looked like.
And it's interesting because you know, the version that was put, the state even got up and said, look, it's in the records, it's in the court transcript. You even said, it does not grow like that. It does not grow like that. And that, you know, he's always kept a goatee. So those versions seemingly being polished, one might say, today. But obviously this is interesting because it happens right towards the end of the state's case. We don't know if the state will be calling anybody else. It does not appear as though they will do so because they've already played the video from ENCA, which is the one that they indicated previously that they'd been engaging with the editors there to come to court to authenticate that video. So at this particular point, we don't know if they're still going to go ahead with that, to call them to come and authenticate that video, or they are fine with where things are and they might close their case.
Very interesting indeed.